I feel like in today's day and age, a lot of discourse, a lot of talk about dating is, oh, it's over, it's cooked. On Monday you hear women are out. On Tuesday you hear men are out. On Wednesday you hear everybody's out. It's like give up on dating. That's what you're hearing. And I'm actually not here to say that. Contrary to what the title says, because the title seems a bit aggressive. I'll be honest, but I'll explain. I'll explain. But yeah, this is not one of those doom and gloom videos like, yeah, dating is cooked. Give up. Stay single. All right. I think that if that's what you're looking for, you could find love for sure. Even in this day and age, even if you're Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they're probably yeah, y'all are cooks, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You just focus on being single, bro. Focus on you. But Gen Z, like we have a chance. We still have a chance. Um, but what I'm saying with this title is that somebody exists for you out there, but they're not gonna be perfect. And that sounds like, oh, super basic, like everybody knows that, right? But I feel like a lot of people don't. I feel like, at least in this modern day, in this time, a lot of people don't really understand that your partner isn't going to be the perfect person, all right? Unless you are the perfect person, unless you can confidently say that you are everything that anybody could ever want, then it's kind of unfair to expect that from your partner or whatever, right? And even I fall into this pitfall where I'm thinking, okay, goth baddie, 6'10", you know, muscle. I'm not gonna say mommy. That's weird, but muscle, muscle, right? But those are that's fine. You can have standards. I'm not saying don't have standards, right? But look beyond that. Look beyond your type. And I do believe in types, but look beyond your type and just look. Just look. I feel like you've heard it a million times. Oh, be patient. The right person is coming to find you. Whatever, you got this, right? But I feel like a lot of people do take for granted the concept of being open. Having an open mind. Um, yeah, I think what's also very important in this day and age to understand is that you're not alone. If you're feeling like, man, the dating market fucking sucks, there's probably somebody like you, um, who's, well, I'm not gonna say who could be a potential partner. Like, let's imagine me. I'm looking at dating apps like, oh yeah, never mind, it's cooked. Dating is not gonna work out. Whatever. There's probably somebody feeling just like me. Okay, I'm not the only person in the world who's feeling that way, which means you could find somebody else who you could connect with, who could actually become that partner. If you That's always the thing with like feeling alone and feeling alone in your mindset. If you feel that way, I promise you somebody else in just general life has felt that way. Somebody else is feeling that way right now, and you can probably, with how much the internet, just like socializing, how much it just like globalized, how much we socialize, you can probably talk and find a person like that. Okay? So with all three of those in mind, right? When it comes to finding somebody, there's always going to be somebody out there. There's never going to be a time in our lives when the market is actually cooked. Okay? The dating market will never actually be cooked. The dating market is going down, I'll be honest, right? I mean, I'm still young, I'm only 18, but the dating market is going down. It is difficult, but I promise you it's not impossible. Now, I get it though, for sure, because it gets tiring though. It's a lot of work, right? So it's like sometimes you give up on pursuing it at the moment, and that's fine. There's just seasons, bro. There's just seasons. Sometimes it's just not gonna work out for now. Who cares? That's happening, but it's never the end of the world, bro. Always possible. Don't give up. Um, you will find someone, not a perfect someone, because there's a lot of romanticization around. Oh, you're gonna find your goth baddie, girl. You're gonna find your 6'10" rich ass fella. But no, that's not probably not happening. For being honest, statistically speaking, I like to be realistic. I like to be logical. Have standards. Like, I'm not gonna ask you to go with some chud, right? But statistically speaking, I would say just be open. Unless you're like extra, unless you bad as hell. All right. Unless you're top 10 ranked bad Johns of all time, man or woman or whatever, then like maybe you can have those type of opinions. But then again, whatever. Um. And yeah, interesting though. I feel like in this day and age, I keep saying that. That's like the buzzword in this day and age, right? That's the buzzword of this video. But I don't know where else you would meet people. To be honest, I think you just have to go to places. I look, you find it easier if you're somebody who's into like anime or gaming. You can go to like a convention, right? But if you're somebody who's like into quilting, right? You're not going to the National Quilting convention. I'm stuttering so hard to find you a quilting baddie, right? Like that's not really, you know. So I don't know where you would look. Um, okay, I feel like our parents, if you're Gen Z, if you're old, you could be older, which is fine, right? I feel like some people really did have it a lot easier. You know, you just walk into to church and you just find the love of your life right there. Like that's crazy, you know, and that could happen today. But the internet, I feel like the internet has done more damage on, you know, perception wise. I actually don't think it has done that much damage. I actually don't think, because you know, you see a lot of videos, especially on the, oh my gosh, just the terrible, terrible podcast, bro. All right, fresh and fit, whatever, right? Where they're talking like, I want a man who's 7'8" and makes $8 billion a year, or you see some guy talk about, I want my woman. Okay, I'm gonna say it, but whatever. I want my woman in the kitchen. All right, she needs to be making me bread every day, or I'm not paying her no bread. Can I get an amen, brothers? Right? It's like you see that online, and I feel like nobody believes that shit. I've never talked to a single person. Again, I am young. Not forget that, right? I've never talked to a single person who's actually thinking that mindset. I think what does more damage is people thinking that other people are thinking that mindset. You feel me? You get what I'm saying, right? You get what I'm saying? Like for example, if I were to believe all girls want a 6'10" guy, I'm only like 5'11" if I'm being generous, to be honest. So if me thinking that would do more damage than the people who are actually out there thinking that, because there's not that many people. They're a minority. They're a very vocal minority if they exist. I've never met anybody like that, probably just because bad energy and I'm just not, you know what I'm saying? We're just not on the same wavelength. We wouldn't really connect, whatever. But yeah, so I really think that the market is not cooked, but you're not going to find the perfect person. All right? Um, they're going to be, they're gonna smell, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They're probably gonna smell like shit one day. You know, they're probably gonna be annoying. I'm gonna be honest. The love of your life probably gonna get on your nerves. Okay, they're not gonna be annoying. They're probably not gonna smell, but they're gonna get on your nerves for one thing or another. You're gonna have beef, bro. You're gonna have beef. Like just get used to it. Not like consistent beef, but like you're gonna have some things where y'all are gonna have a serious discussion, and it's gonna be like it's gonna suck, whatever. Right? But let's learn from the people who came before us. Again, if you're my age, right? Um, my parents have stayed together for years. I wish I knew how many. I actually forgot. But they've been together for years. I think like pushing 30. Yeah. I was in 30. Pushing 30 years. And that's like impressive. And they don't get into beef. Thank God. Truly, thank God. I have wonderful parents who are still together. They don't get into beef, but they have told us that they get into disagreements very occasionally. Notice, occasionally, not every day. Yeah, they're beefing over some bullshit. Okay, occasionally. I can't give you a time frame. I was gonna say maybe once a month. I can't give you a time frame. Okay, I'm not married. Whatever. Right? But disagreements are normal. Okay. To close this video, I say to you, disagreements are gonna be normal because you're trying to basically fuse two people into one. On some polished shit, right? You're trying to fuse two people into one lifestyle, into one situation, right? Into one household, into one whatever. And that's obviously there's gonna be friction. Okay, y'all are gonna disagree on some things. Y'all are not the exact same person, and that's good. That's good. But yeah, if you want that, you can go find it. It takes some work. It takes some time. And truly, it's a pain in the ass. I'm gonna be honest. But if that's what you want, I'm guarantee you that you can find it. Not you will find it. A lot of people are like, you'll find love. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Takes a lot of work, but you can. It is possible. It is possible. So, yeah, I'm gonna close out this video. Hey, shout out to all the bad Johns watching this video. Yo, hit my line. Yo, I need to stop, bro. I need to stop making videos. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, bro. Really, you guys like the microphone, by the way. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Stay swaggy. Stay blessed. I'm gonna catch y'all.